afternoon. Welcome to your favorite social media program, The Buzz. I am Rose Blossom. It's exciting to be here again. Of course, today we're talking about, the trending videos, the things that happened over the week from about Thursday to now, and of course some trending topics which we have to discuss. And we have a guest with us today. His name is Femi Chacha Emmanuel. He's a public analyst, is a writer, is an author, is also a politician. I'm sure you're used to him already. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me today. Nice to be
Thank
here.
you so much for joining. Okay, first is just to show the works of Governor Obaseki. Last week I saw some training videos of what he did in the educational system, and of course I think the court in his state, and they had to do a video of the before and what he has done after. So I thought about it. I was like, we always celebrate good works. Of course, when we see people working, we celebrate them. When we see our leaders doing something beautiful, we do appreciate them. But when you're doing likewise or otherwise, of course, we're here to actually put you back and make sure you're accountable for whatever you do. So let's quickly watch the video of Governor Obaseki, where he revitalized the educational system in his state. And of course, this is in pursuit of to improve the ICT learning and e-governance, of course, and the quality of education, both the primary and the secondary schools in his state. So let's quickly watch it. And okay, there are two videos, so we're just going to play the two videos back to back. And the next video that will be coming after that is in the pursuit of the core value of democracy and good governance. He was able to govern the people of Edo State, and of course the Palm House was the first place His Excellency visited, and he pledged the transformation of the Secretariat. So he did transform the Secretariat and of course the ICT learning building and the sector. So let's watch the two videos back to back, and we'll be right back, just to react quickly before we start talking about the topics we have for today. Let's watch. Okay, please, can we have the two videos? There are actually two videos there. Please, can we play that? Because I didn't get to watch that video properly. I wanted a reaction from my guest. So please, kindly play that video. Even if it doesn't have an up sound, please play it. Let's actually watch. We can be talking while we are doing that, please. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Anyways, that's what Governor Obaseki works is doing. Well, like a lot of people said behind the camera, that's political, so we're not even going to react to it anymore. Okay, let's talk about AFCON. The fined Libya appeal verdict as CAF awards Nigeria match 3-0. Of course, Nigeria got 3, and Libya will be getting 0. I'm just going to read a little bit so that we know the update of actually what's going on. Now, Nigeria was awarded 3 goals and 3 points, and Libya was fined $50,000 as the Confederation of African Football finally announced a verdict on the botched 2025 Africa Cup of Nations Group D qualifying features scheduled for October 15 in Beninia, Libya. That was on Saturday. Now, the verdict followed an intense and seemingly thorough investigation of the matter by the body's disciplinary committee following a complaint by the Nigerian Football Federation after the Super Eagles were subjected to a 20-hour nightmarish experience in the North African country between Sunday, October 13 and Monday, October 13. The Libya authority had diverted their flights, of course, which is about 300 kilometers from the match venue, just when they were about to land at their designated airport. And the Nigerian contingent were locked at the airport for 18 hours without food and water. And the toilets were completely messed up by the Libyans in anticipation of their arrival. Now, drained physically, psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, the Super Eagles, who apparently were not in their right shape to play the match, returned to the country later, which was a Monday. Now, the Libyan Football Federation tried to put up a spurious defense that was eventually rightly found untenable by the disciplinary committee. In its ruling on Saturday, which was signed by the chairman, the committee found the Libyan Football Federation guilty of breaching Article 31 of the African Cup of Nations regulation, as well as Article 82 and 151 of the CAF disciplinary code. And also the match which is, of course, Libya versus Nigeria of the CAF African World, which was okay. I think that's about that. Okay. Well, the update again is Libya has refused to agree to the fine. First, the 50,000 US dollars fine, and of course, I think they are They are not so cool with it, but they're a bit cool with the 3 points, and of course, the 3 scores they had to award Nigerians. So, what do you think? Of course, do you think they can actually fight this verdict from CAF? Is it possible?
Well, I need to say a very great word of appreciation to the CAF president. He did the right thing, even if it were Nigeria that did something similar. I would have commended him if he had also acted in good spirit. Now, the truth is, this is not the first time Libya is doing things like that, and other countries who have fell victim also show point of solidarity with Nigeria and also expressed their grief. And while Libya was trying to play the victim and explain some of the things they went through when they came to Nigeria, one, it was obvious that they're not even part of the top 10 countries that Nigeria would want to see as a rival as far as football is concerned. So there was no reason why Nigeria would have actually even hoodwinked them. One. Two, Nigeria was actually leading on the table as at then. So there was no point in, and Libya was probably at the bottom of the table. So if Nigeria probably want to even play rivalry or something like that, it has to be somebody close to them on the table. So there were, and there are other countries that Nigeria has hosted that didn't even make such spurious claims. So it was obvious Libya was trying to play to the gallery and did certain things so that when Nigeria comes, it's easier for them to say it was revenge. But sadly, I'm happy that NFF and especially the Nigerian players were able to document their travail. You know, they were not emotional about it. They documented things. They spoke. Even the captain is so matured. Even when he was expressing grievance on behalf of the players, you did not see all Nigerian players saying unnecessary words. The captain Williams was just posting and giving regular updates, and it was so professional. The way they handled it was so professional, and that you would just. And then the NFF came back, wrote a very nice petition. We involved our foreign affairs. Also, Honorable Minister Toga. Nigeria went about it so diplomatically that it was obvious that CAF didn't have a choice than to take a stand. They didn't have a choice. If Nigeria, probably some of the players were vandalizing things or our fans were overreacting, then it would have been difficult for CAF to take a stand. But in all of the assaults and premeditated efforts, Nigerians were, for the first time, I need to commend them. I was so happy. Then going forward, I also think this should be a lesson for all of us that you should not be guided by emotions. Try to be logical, irrespective of how angry you are. Just try your best to be calm, to be cool. Then just follow the process, and even though it took time, but it came at the right time.
Yeah, it came at the right
3
time.
points. That's
enough. That's enough. Anyways, you know, like I said, Libya is trying to fight the verdict, but not for the points, for the facts whereby they had to pay 50,000 US dollars. Is it possible for them to actually fight that verdict?
They will, and they should. But the truth is, some of us feel the amount is too small. Some of us even expected that they will be banned for probably a year. Because then, number two, some of us also expect that they should be banned for not less than 2 years, because even in FIFA rules, government intervention or interference is disallowed. Their football federation cannot divert flights. That's government interference. Their football federation cannot choose where to land. That's government interference. So quite a lot. I am expecting that their refusal to pay this $50,000 will now be a reason why government, the CAF or probably FIFA will now sanction them. It's probably a bait, and I expect that they will take it and they'll get sanctioned.
I'm sure they will get sanctioned. You know, like you said, a lot of people believe that that fine was too small. Yes, was too small.
Those
compared
guys
to what they went
pilot
through.
was insisting that he was already running out of fuel. We started to divert them 300 kilometers.
Yeah, away from the
that's like suicide. You expect those guys would have lost their lives. These guys, and when just a minute silence.
Yeah,
no, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it, to be honest. And especially the airport where they landed was. In fact, it was not in use. Actually, you could see it was as if they deliberately messed up the convenience.
It was deliberate.
I don't know. Well, like they said, maybe this time around when they want to fight the verdict, maybe this time around FIFA will come out and do something about that. Okay. So while we're talking about that, let's talk about a cabinet reshuffle. I know I'm just going to read a little bit because I'm sure a lot of people know who was sacked and who was brought in. We had a lot of funny trending videos reaction, which I'm still going to play on that one, but let me just read a little bit. President Bola Tinubu cabinet reshuffle was on Wednesday, which had Ogun State reportedly producing 4 ministers, the highest by state in the cabinet across the country. In a significant cabinet shake-up during the 19th Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House Abuja, Tinubu approved the reassignment of 10 ministers to new portfolios, discharging 5 others, and nominated 7 new ministerial appointees for onward transmission to the Senate for confirmation. Of course, the president renamed the Ministry of Nigeria Delta Development to the Ministry of Regional Development, scrapping the Ministry of Sport Development, and merged the Ministries of Tourism and Arts and Culture to become the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy. Now, the 7 new ministers by the Senate are Dr. Jumoke Odunwale from Ogun State, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Dr. Yiwat Dar from Plateau, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Poverty Reduction, Muhammad, Minister of Labor and Employment, Bianca Ojuku, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Idi Maiha as Minister of Livestock Development. We have Yusuf Atta as Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, and Dr. Ahmad from Kano State as Minister of State for Education. Now, the incoming Dr. Jumoke Oduwale joins Wale Edu, Minister of Finance, and Dr. Adekunle Salako, the new Minister of State for Health, who was previously Minister of State Environment, and we have Bosun Tijani, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, now as Minister of Ogun Extractions. Whereby we know already that in January 2024, Tinubu actually gave a directive saying that it's going to reduce government expenditures. He also talked about the local trips, how he reduced it to 25 officials, and the vice president's entourage, he reduced it to 5, and of course 15, 5 for local trips, he said 15. But aside from that, he has restricted ministers and heads of departments and agencies to a maximum of 3 vehicles on any official convoy. Official, unofficial, just 3 vehicles. And he said no additional vehicles should be assigned to them for movement. He said this on Thursday last week, and also ordered all ministers and ministers of state and heads of agency to have at most 5 security personnel attached to them. So I want you to react differently. Of course, the cabinet reshuffle and the update about the convoys and the security officials they can have while they are going out on official assignment.
Well, some weeks ago I talked about the imminent cabinet reshuffle, and I want to say that kudos to the president, even though Obasanjo did more. Obasanjo did a lot of reshuffle, I think like 8 times during 8 years. This is the first in like 2 years. I expect more people to go actually, but you see, it's not really easy replacing people in the cabinet, because see, like I said earlier on, some weeks ago, members of the cabinet from each state are representing their academic qualifications, justifying it and representing it. 2, they must have enough clout to be able to guarantee the election or the re-election of whoever appointed them, which in this case is the president. So sometimes it's difficult to find someone who has the 2, educational qualification to do certain things, then the political clout also. So most times for number 2, if number one is only technocrats, they have to rely on godfatherism or the nomination of the governor or a senator or a power stakeholders in the state to be able to ensure that the first two is guaranteed. Then the third, which is also alignment to what the president wants and his ideology. That's actually pretty difficult. And in the last administration, we had a lot of people that did 1 and 2 well, but they didn't align as far as their ideology. So you know, I'm happy the Minister of Education, when some of us in the education sector were angry when he began saying 18 years and the likes and can't get admission and
yeah.
There are some of the ministers I still expect to leave. The lady in that the ministry was merged. I've forgotten her name. That was supposed to do her NYSC.
Merged with the Minister of Education?
No. Merged with tourism and something like that. I think digital economy and not Bosun. I can't really remember her portfolio right now.
Is it Jumoke?
No, not Jumoke. Some of us expect her to. Some of us expect that she's actually supposed to take a bow from the ministry. Maybe when you release the names again.
Yeah.
There are quite a lot of them that we saw the imminent sack of the Minister for Education. I wasn't surprised when Uju Kennedy also had to bow out, and there's been a lot of outrage. And we still expect some more. Now let me balance the analysis with the cut down in the expenditure. It's a step in the right direction, but we expect more. Yes, sincerely, it's a step in the right direction, but we expect more. How do we expect more? We expect that some people will lose their jobs, but the truth is you can't expect Nigerians to sacrifice and not show us that as politicians you're actually making sacrifices too. So I like the cut down in the convoy. I love the cut down in the security personnel. I love that, but we're also expecting a cut down in the number of SSAs that they have. Each of them has. What's the deal? What's the big deal about it? We should also prune down that. Then I also want a limit to how much contracts that they can actually probably endorse or probably sign. They should show us a lot of transparency. We want to see more from the National Assembly as far as oversight function is concerned. They should respond to the National Assembly when being invited. There's quite a lot that it's looking more like it's just the National Assembly is a rubber stamp and working hand in glove with the present administration. But we want more of we really want them to clamp down on more excesses. Another thing I look forward to see is they should make their KPIs known. How do we measure their performance? Some of them are doing that so well. Bosun Tijani is doing that on social media. But let all ministers begin to share. This is the KPI for the remaining months. These are my targets for this month. Work with me. We will be able to benchmark together. Then if whatever we aspire for is not within their defined KPI, then we will not have unnecessary expectations. So I expect that some of this, I know Bala Usman is doing well as the class captain, trying to make sure that they meet up with KPIs, but we want to know what the KPIs are. These ministers must be on social media. Their essays on digital communications must speak up more and carry us along with whatever they are trying to achieve, so that we can call them out when they err, or we should actually point their attention to things that they are not looking at. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I saw a news trending this morning, and that is where Minister of Works Umahi said if they want to have a good structure, road structure, I've forgotten what particular road he was talking about, and he said, you know what to do in 2027. As a politician, what does he actually mean by that statement, that if you want me to do this road, because something that they've been fighting for and they really need it, I've forgotten the particular
I know what you're talking about.
So what does he mean when he says you know what to do in 2027, because you're a politician? So please explain.
The truth is while it is wrong for some regions or some parts to not benefit when when the government rolls out projects, or probably they're not putting there's something in economics that we call scale of preference.
Yeah.
They're not on the top list as far as the scale of preference is concerned. Sometimes they look at the number of votes they have from the region, and if they don't have stakeholders from the region that are trying to align, they understand that no matter what they do in that region, they will still not vote. And then, you know, while it is wrong to tie votes to projects, but you understand that it's a political statement, because David Umai, who is the Minister of Works, is trying to justify his own reasons for mounting that position on behalf of the president to guarantee the president's re-election. We will see more of that. Even governors do it. They ignore certain areas because they were not voted en masse from these areas. So, but going forward, I think what most people don't understand is try to, and we do that so well in the Southwest, you try to ensure that there are votes from every political parties. There are major stakeholders that belongs to all the political parties, instead of putting all your eggs in just one basket and then end up not getting the benefits. But is that a right thing to do? I think no. But is it always expected? Yes. Of course. It's politics. Anyways, still talking about the cabinet reshuffle, we had some very, I don't know what to describe these videos, but let's first play the video where the state of the the Ministry of Women Affairs, where they rejoiced after Tinubu, you know, sacked the minister, and of course we'll react to that. We have two videos. We have one other person, but let's take this cabinet reshuffle where she was sacked, and you know, you could see a lot of rejoicing. Let's watch the video. Please, can we have the video where they were rejoicing, where this Ministry of Women Affairs was sacked, and you know, people were rejoicing from about the news. Let's watch that. We'll be right back. Okay, if we do not have that video, can we have the other video whereby we had a female custom officer receiving an unusual retirement farewell from dock and port workers in Tinkan Island, Lagos. If you now get the other video, please play them back to back so we can react to them because of our time. All right, welcome back. Okay, we're going to first start with staff of the Ministry of Women Affairs rejoicing after Tinubu sacked Uju Kennedy. You know, you said something last week where you said there are three things, and if you have 1 over 3, obviously a lot of people will just feel like you're not doing well enough. Yeah. But why do we tend to always want to celebrate this way? Because well, over to you, please. You know, I said last week that it's important once you're a leader, you must understand how to manage people's perception and perspective. You know, it's not just good enough for you to have good intentions. You must. There are 3 aims: the message, the messenger, and the method. The message is your marking guide, is your KPI from whoever appointed you, or your vision or your goals. Your method is your leadership style. Some are, even in a democratic regime, some are very undemocratic about how they carry out their tasks. Then the messenger has to do with your personality. You know you don't have a good personality, you know you have a wrong method, and the only thing that aligns with your followers is actually your message. Then they will revolt. There can be silent, there can be a very silent revolt, but it's obvious that when you leave office, they will rejoice. Not because you were not doing the right thing, but scoring 1 over 3. It's by all standards is very poor. I would feel it's more of a method that actually the method actually. Yes. And you know what influences your method is your personality. So you know, some of us growing up, when we became parents, we began to understand what our mothers, our fathers were trying to do. Yeah. But you understand that you agree with their message right now. But probably their method, yes, was not working. Their methods are influenced by their personality, which is the messenger. Their personality, their background, their upbringing, how their parents also behave.
Yeah.
It's now that we are beginning to filter certain things and say, okay, I don't want to be this to my own children. So, you know, in leadership, it's obvious. There are some people that pride themselves. While we're in school, some lecturers will walk up to your class and tell you, A is for God, B is for me, and then the most intelligent of you is competing for C. And, you know, it's just their personality. Irrespective of how well you do, it's either your script is missing, it's either there will always be something where you will not really graduate with first class. So you will understand that it's their method, it's their personality, irrespective of who you are. So, and some people bring all of these things into leadership, and we've forgotten that the caliber of people we are leading at the moment, this Gen Z, they don't have that threshold. They don't have that lifespan to endure.
They are not patient.
They are not patient. Any little thing gets them suicidal.
Yeah.
And before you know it, they are in solidarity with each other or one another, and then you are the bad person, irrespective of your intention.
Of course.
So I hope other ministers learn from this, and then, you know, see, it's all very important to make people buy into your vision. Let them also understand that you are human. When David Umai assumed responsibilities to as the Minister of Works, they had reasons to lock him out. If you can remember, the video went viral. He had to calm down. You have to calm down and let them buy into, you know, you come in and the initial those that want to do this, yes, it's important. But they have to buy into it. They have to even, some of us do when we are transferred from one department to another, and we have the opportunity to meet with those that are serving under us. We sit down together and let us draw up. What do you suggest will happen if so person comes, if anyone comes, it's even me. They bring the rules together, you all agree, then try to be the first defaulter, obey whatever has been agreed and fine. Then you find that all of them will sit up. But all of a sudden you're coming late, but you want to punish those that are coming after. No, it's not done. You have to lead by example.
Yes, you do. Thank you very much for that one. You know, you said something about lecturers that, you know, they will always want you to go through one thing or the other. In my own school, then we call them sadists, and we know their departments, but I'm not going to mention. I won't even mention the name of the school. I think in every university we have them, and I think in this particular department, more like BCH, that's biochemistry, or industrial physics, or industrial chemistry. You see these three departments. I'm still looking for a university that where students will come out and tell me, we don't have sadists in that department. I'm still looking for one, but I've not seen.
And many people don't graduate from that.
They hardly do graduate.
Maybe 6.
When you graduate, you hardly hear first class. From where? They will ask you, did they also graduate with first class?
Exactly.
To your face. But anyways, and you know what is so sad is she took up a case recently about 2 sisters who were raped by I think their neighbor or something, and just 8 days later she was already sacked. I don't know how they are going to take up that case. Is it possible for her to still take up the case? We'll take it up.
Then she actually misfired. Many people from the north actually wanted her down. You know, she interfered in the Kano State teenagers' marriage.
On social
media without actually discussing first with the stakeholders. Later they found out that they were actually of age. They were not underage like she alleged. There had been a lot of pressure from the north for her to actually, because you know, before you, and those are some of the methods. Those are some of the things I was talking about. She really didn't do well as far as she had a good intention. She does not, because she's the minister for women, she does not want underage man. She has a good intention. The message is clear. But probably the way she went about it, influenced by her personality, just wanted to be in the good books. And you have to be culturally sensitive. I think she's a disciplinarian. She is, but you know, when you're saddled with leadership, you have to understand looking at things from different perspectives. I can share quite a lot of experience, and you understand that you see, maturity is not about age. It's not about age at all. You have to understand people's perception, people's perspective. Take for instance, I do a lot of science teaching, and you're talking about water, and then you're saying, and you know, in the books, water is colorless and odorless. But there are people from some communities that their water has color, their water has odor, and some of them get up to disagree with you. You don't need to feel such person is stupid. You just really need to learn. Yeah, understand. Talk to me about, can you show me? Okay, then you can now enlighten he or she. But you know, most lecturers won't do that. They just shout you down. Yeah, they shut you down.
But anyways, we all know that water is colorless and
it is by the book, you understand.
Okay, about the other video that we watched, the female custom officer that received an unusual retirement farewell from dock and port workers in Tinkan Island, Lagos. You could obviously hear them, someone even shouting "Ole," of course, which is thief in English. And like you said, she was actually reinstated on Friday. That video was on a Wednesday, but she was reinstated on a Friday. And the first thing that came to my mind is, she will show these people shaggy. I'm being honest. But what's your take? Because it was too obvious, you know, down from where she was coming down from her office, even to when she left the building. People were really following her and, you know, screaming and, you know, giving this comrade song. What's that song again? I've forgotten.
I have this notion about Nigerians. Nigerians love to steal, but they don't want to be stolen from. So they only raise an alarm when they are actually being burgled or being stolen from. But you see, provided they are the ones stealing and they are benefiting from it, they want it to continue. Yeah. That's what is happening in the power sector. If you see any sector where things are not working, then you understand that there are saboteurs. There are people that are actually benefiting from that thing remaining in that state. And once there's someone that wants to transform and make things better, you see them fly out because they've been benefiting so much for too long. Yeah. So when you have the opportunity to be posted to things like that, most times it's actually very important to have enough people that buy into your vision before you even start taking steps, or get a lot of people transferred. That's what some of us do. You get them transferred. And see, it's not only in politics, even in the religious sector, even in the private sector. You see a man set up a poultry, and workers, the manager is stealing eggs, killing birds. You will find out that there's every time he increases expenses because they want to vaccinate. And if you don't listen to him to pay him that token so that they can vaccinate, like 50 of your birds will be declared dead because he wants, and you will go to his house and you see them in the soup. So you see, it's funny. There was a friend of mine had a poultry, and you know he kept reporting that he has observed that once it's 16th, that it's like the guy's salary from the 1st to 15th, he can maintain his salary. But once it's the 16th, he always look for a means. Most times there are different reasons why he wants to get money. But each time he does not succumb to whatever. Sometimes those cash could be as small as 5,000, 7,000. But most times, after 3 days, he will find out that there will be a loss in his farm. And when he brought it to my attention, okay, let us observe together. Sincerely speaking, I'm talking about 20 beds, 30 beds. I'm not talking about 1 or 2.
Wow.
I'm talking about 20 beds, 30 beds. And I said, no problem. Once, let's give him the opportunity to do the same thing. Then let him declare how many beds, and let's ask him. Okay, before he does not care about what happens to the bed. Yeah. That's the mistake he was making. He said, okay, so now once they declare those beds, please tell them to bring it. That we're going to eat it by ourselves. The guy got angry. Oh. They declared that 40 beds were dead. They brought only maybe 30 or 32. We went to his house to greet him unscheduled, and we saw that they were eating chicken. And I told my friend, you see, Nigerians are like that. So the way forward, I think there's a need. Once you see that, the first week should always be observation. Even if you can use a whole month, just observe key people. There are people that
are more influential on people.
Exactly. Yeah. Get some of them to buy into your vision. It's not immediately you are being transferred or you take over leadership that you now begin to show your muscles and begin to punish people. They will find a way to sabotage. Even just like an ordinary singer, because you have a very good voice and it's your turn and you're talking down on the engineer, he will just turn it off and you will mess up. They will mess you up. It's just like that.
We have a cameraman behind the camera. You know, they used to say something. They said, if you watch, when a camera gives a bad shot of an actor, that means that actor has stuck down on that cameraman.
Exactly.
Am I right? Okay, they are laughing, so it's true. Okay, all right. I have another training video, and this one is House of Reps member Alex Ifeanyi Mascot, who was filmed slapping a delivery driver and threatening to make him disappear because he refused to enter his house to deliver the package. But the way people have a power drunk right now, I don't know. But let's watch that video, and of course we'll be right back. Welcome back. First, like I said, power drunk. You know, you even had to involve the inspector of police. I think that's another slap on, you know, the inspector general of police too. And the third one I noticed is the fact whereby he's even calling his name and saying, I am a member of the House of Rep. So you obviously feel that nothing can be done with what you did, because from all indications, I do not know, but that person does not sound like someone that insulted him. But anyways, what's your reaction? You're a politician. What kind of big pot of soup do you think Honorable is?
You see, emotional intelligence is very important.
Very important.
Especially in social media age. Emotional intelligence is really very, very important, and I'm disappointed in the Honorable. I hope his people will initiate a process to call him back. That's number one. Number two, I know VDM has stepped into this because he likes stepping into trending issues to massage his ego, and not because what stepping into it is wrong, but he just wants to claim the winner at the end of the day. I know my friend Ifeanyi Mascot will also step into this.
Yeah.
We actually love to even be the guys that are pro bono. I would be shocked.
Of course,
if,
yes.
Because you know, to be a son,
he's always
there must be cases you have done pro bono. I think maybe 3 or 4 or 5 like that. So, and then it was with the kind of viral this case seemed to attract. I expect the Ifeanyi to be on this case. But let's now get to the substance of the case. I think an average Nigerian is power drunk. Even an ordinary gate man. You come for an interview. The way the gate man will address you, because you are deaf and that, don't you know I'm the GM? Are you talking to me? You will not get this job. I will not let you enter. Nigerians are just naturally power drunk. It's just, all they need is uniform, a title, and an opportunity to just show it. That's why some of us, especially because of some people that are trigger happy and they can misuse something. You must have emotional intelligence. You must be very calm. And I like that guy was very calm. Very calm. And that's the reasons why Nigerians will get behind him. And that's the only reason why he will get justice. Yeah. And he was still implicating the guy. Did you just slap me 3 times? I will slap you again. And he went ahead and slapped him. He baited him to actually cause more of his foolishness. Exactly. But I only came to deliver something to you, and I'm asking for my money. But you are rude. He kept showing that he was so calm. And it was record. No. That man lacked emotional intelligence, and I need to appeal to Nigerians, politicians precisely, or people that are in power. See, the same people that said they were hailing Jesus, after a few minutes were saying crucify him, crucify him. So people will move on, they will remove you, they will move on, your phone will stop ringing, people will stop coming to see you, they will forget about you in 1 month. If it's only your family that will remember. So nobody should be power drunk, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. But I really want this man to apologize publicly to this person, because I know those are part of the things that if they steps into it, they will want a public apology. They want him to be compensated. Of course. And it then and it should now serve as a deterrent for people in power. In fact, I expect that guy should be given a better car. It's going but you know, I still feel like if they say, okay, make an apology, you know, give him this amount of money for compensation, and you know, do whatever you need to do, I still feel that people will actually still, leaders will actually still get power drunk. I think if, I don't know, I would have said they should lock him up. But it's not possible.
Because that's an assault.
He has police escort.
That's an assault. You are asking a rider to come into your compound, and he's even scared for his life, because that's late at night. Exactly. And riders stop at your gate. You come outside to pick your parcel. We don't have
even sent someone.
Yeah, to pick it up.
There was no what he was doing was not necessary. It doesn't have to do with intelligence and patience.
We're just going to wrap up this show with this video, because I don't feel so good with what I just watched. I don't understand why. Last week we talked about Wike talking to some persons, some communities in Abuja, where he was calling them stupid and insulting them, despite them trying to, you know, make a point of what they really wanted him to understand. But he was not patient enough, and now we have Alex coming with his own. I hope it will not be a thing whereby every week we have to be talking to grown men who are leaders, who are supposed to be serving and not to be, you know, commanding or dictating to us. Anyway, we've come to the end of the program. Thank you so much, Femi Chacha, for coming. It was an amazing session with you. I hope you enjoyed yourself there.
Yeah, thank you for having me too. An amazing session.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, my viewers, for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's program on the bus. Tomorrow, definitely we're talking about the same thing, which is what is trending on social media, and of course some very trending topics when it comes to politics and affairs of the country. Until tomorrow, my name is Rose Blossom. Do have a beautiful day for yourself. Bye for now.